And we are going to be blessed as they take us through our topic. I believe every one of us understand the topic of the day. We are talking about the diabetes program. And my name is Purity Dongo, just in case we have a guest. I don't want to assume. I'm Purity Dongo, a very excited distributor in this great company of Neolife. I joined this business now going to 8 years. And my life has changed a lot in terms of health, even the money that I was told that I'll get, and I've enjoyed lifestyle, and more so I've enjoyed a lot of personal development, and even just seeing people coming in and joining and actually getting the benefits of health in this company is a great thing. So karibuni sana. I don't want to talk much. I want to give our speakers a good time so that they can be able to take us through the program. So I want to welcome our speakers. Our speakers are Mr. and Mrs. Charles Amulavu, our team members, great people, and we just love you. And welcome so that you can take us through the program. Karibuni.
Thank you, Purity, for those. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you, Purity and Paul, for those very kind words to us. We really appreciate. I will just do a little bit of intro, then I'll hand over to Charles to introduce us to the topics. Then I will finish up with the products. As Purity has said, this is Charles and Margaret Amulavu. Before this business, we both worked in the bank. And for me, after working for the International Bank for 8.5 years, I chose to resign. And it is because I didn't have time for my children and I was forever tired. I never forget that I could never go upstairs to change because of the fatigue that I had and the long hours that I used to put in. And so one day I came home and my son was 3 years, our son was 3 years, then said, "Mommy, you don't come home these days." And that got me a little bit concerned. One, because I thought this boy at 3 years thinks his mother doesn't come home. And then secondly, I come from a very mixed background. My father is Kenyan and my mother is Malawian. And then I'm married to another section in Kenya on the Western. And I just thought my in-laws will think this very mixed up person is also not maybe very okay. And so I decided to resign after 8.5 years to be a husband. And I thought that there's no day I'll be an ex-parent. I can be an ex-anything, ex-employee, ex-whatever else we are, but parenting will never really come to an end. It's only the names that change along the way. And so this business found me at home and I was looking for something to do. And a friend of ours who we worked with invited us to come and have a look, and I'm the one who was available, so I came and had a look at the business. And the few things I had that night, actually that day I did not sleep because I could not believe that there's anything like that that rewards you for your effort and work and not dependent on your age, on your qualifications, and even many other things, not even how well educated you are, where you come from and all that. And so it had a very level ground for everybody to start and give us an opportunity to achieve our dreams. And the things we were promised that night, I want to say that 80% of it we have achieved. We were promised that we'll be able to get good health. And I can say for sure, we are very healthy. At our age now, in our mid-50s, we don't even feel the age. I tell people I'm still waiting to feel that age because we used to be told at 50, all sorts of things happen, pressure, joint pains, we're going to happen apale. I want to say today, we don't have anything like that. So we have got extremely good health, and I thank God that we have saved lots and lots of money because our health is good. Secondly, we were told that we could actually use very good products, and I can say the products are above any other products. And especially for me, I've got a first-hand experience in the products. And like one time I shared that we unfortunately lost our daughter 6 months after we joined the business. And it was a difficult time, but through these products, I personally never went through depression. And for me, that was proof beyond words that these products do work. I use products that they said, if you are stressed, you can use them. And I used those products and I never went into depression. And you know that the loss of a child is a very difficult thing, especially for the mother. And that was proof to me enough that these products do work. So the products are excellent. We have saved also a lot of money in the cleaning products because they do a good job. They're effective. They save you energy and time, and not to mention how well they work. And I want to say that the products are above any other products that I know. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that these products do work. I cannot compare them with anything else. We were promised that we could make money. And yes, we have made the money to the extent that today we can be both of us home and be able to provide for our children, although they are no longer young. That boy who was 3 years is now 28 years. And we've got a younger girl who we got after we lost the one we lost, and she's now 18. And for sure, we are all at home, but we are not struggling, that we are not able to provide and do all the things that we need to do through the business. So for sure, the business does give you an income, and an income you can depend on, in fact, more than what a job could ever give you. And so we are grateful to God that through this business, we have actually been able to earn, and we can be at home at such a time as this, especially during the Corona time. I want to say it has been one of the best times, not in terms of people have been unwell, but in terms of an income it can give you, and you can actually work from home. And then we have traveled. We have achieved some of our dreams, like I said, and one of our biggest dreams was to take our children with us, at least for one of the trips. And in 2017, we managed to go to South Africa for a whole month. So Angela and Michael have been out of the country for a whole 1 month, just for a holiday. And I just want to say that those are some of the things that this business can do for you. I can talk a lot, but because it's not about us this evening, I want to introduce Charles. Charles has been my partner for the last 27 years. We've done 27 years this year. And I want to say that if I was given a chance to choose again, I would still choose him. He has been a friend. He has been a supportive person. He's been there for me. He has motivated me. He's part and parcel of what I have become. So I'm excited that he's my partner. And maybe it's the only reason I went to the bank, because we met in the bank. So I want to welcome Charles to talk to us about diabetes and some of the things that happen with this kind of a challenge. Charles is a professional. He has got 2 degrees. He's got a master's in strategic management. So he's a good planner. And he always, even he's talking, you'll realize he's a very organized guy. So I want to welcome Charles to take us through. And then after that, I'll come back and talk to us about the products that will help us through this challenge. So welcome, Charles.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Margaret. Thank you, Purity, Isaac, and Paul for giving us this opportunity to share what we have learned over time. And it always gives us a great pleasure to be able to talk about our products. And through our 23 years experience in this wonderful opportunity, we have actually been able to learn a lot. Some of the things we have learned from fellow distributors, from professionals who come in to support, and the great support that the company gives us. So today's topic is a very nice topic that we talk about, not just from what we have researched and what we have read, but what we have also practiced. And we have helped a lot of people with this knowledge and with the wonderful products that Neolife offers. So an interesting statistics, 463 million people around the world are living with diabetes. Now that's a huge number. And to make it worse, there are 8 deaths there is 1 death every 8 seconds out of diabetes. That now is worrying. So it is important that we understand what diabetes is, and we also know the things that we need to do so as to prevent, if we already have it, to know how to manage. If we don't have it, to know what to do so that we don't get it. And then if we have people that we know that are at risk, we will then be able to help them with the information that we have. So what is diabetes? Diabetes is a result of a problem with a pancreatic hormone called insulin. Now, insulin, as we all know, controls the amount of glucose or sugar in the blood and the rate at which glucose is absorbed into the cells. Now, that process is very important to understand. So insulin controls the amount of sugar in the blood and the rate at which the sugar is absorbed into the cells. Now, if that process is interfered with, then you get into a risk of getting into diabetes. Now, in people with diabetes, now sugar builds up in the bloodstream instead of being taken into the cells to be used to generate energy. Now, this is what leads to what is called hyperglycemia, or abnormally high levels of sugar in the blood. Now, we'll try and keep it as simple as possible so that everybody is able to understand. And I think with that definition of diabetes, because sometimes we hear about diabetes, but we are not very, very clear about exactly what diabetes is. Now, instinctively, there are 3 types of diabetes. The first one is called type 1. And for those in the medical field, they call it insulin-dependent diabetes mellitus, or IDDM, because type 1 is completely dependent on insulin. Now, type 1 diabetes apparently affects only 5 to 10% of the population. Now, and most of the time it starts at an early age. It is an autoimmune disease. And I know for those who have been attending some of our training sessions, you know that autoimmune has something to do with interference with our normal system of the body working. Now, what happens is that in type 1 diabetes, the immune system attacks and destroys the insulin-producing cells within the pancreas. So it is the body fighting itself, and so the immune system attacks and destroys the insulin-producing cells in the pancreas. And experts believe that this may result from an immune response after a viral infection. Now, you may have heard doctors and medical people saying that never ignore a viral attack. And if you are on a medication for a viral attack, you're supposed to make sure that you complete your medication. This is important because if you don't viral attack properly, then you risk getting into this autoimmune challenge that can bring about diabetes. Then we have type 2. Type 2 diabetes is called non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus, or NIDDM. Now, this is the most common diabetes, and it affects 90 to 95% of people who have diabetes. In type 2, the pancreas does not produce enough insulin, or it produces insulin in small quantities, but not enough to fuel the cells. Now, the body may also resist the effects of insulin in the case of type 2. People with type 2 diabetes often do not perceive sweet tastes. So, and I'm sure if you have interacted with people who have diabetes, you'll have had some of these sentiments. And as we continue with our presentation, you'll realize that we will focus a lot on type 2. Then there is a third type of diabetes, which is not talked about a lot because it only affects a very small number of people. This is gestational diabetes. Gestational diabetes occurs in women during pregnancy. And what happens is that the body becomes less sensitive to insulin during this time. And if a lady who is expectant realizes this, they need to handle it. Otherwise, it can affect, the term of the child in the womb. Now, when it usually disappears, the good thing is that if managed well, it disappears after the pregnancy. And that's why it's not talked about very much. Now, having looked at the types, we will focus on type 2 mostly because type 2 is lifestyle related. And lifestyle is something that we are able to manage. Now, what are the risk factors? Which people or what tells us that one is at risk of diabetes? There are several things that or several factors that we need to watch out for. Number one, overweight. If you are overweight, you are at risk of contracting diabetes. And we have through different trainings been able to go through weight management and how to maintain a good weight for the body. The second risk factor, and this again affects a very small percentage, is having a parent or sibling with type 2 diabetes. I'm sure you've heard of people saying that this one in our family, it is inheritance. But this again affects very few people. Majority is get it through different causes. There is also race. And especially in the Asian community, in the Asian region, there are quite a number of people who are prone to get diabetes because of the race. And when we looked at why this would be a problem, we realized that it has something to do with the traditions and the kind of foods and the lifestyle that this kind of races normally adopt. Now, diet, again, brings in a risk factor, especially when you consistently eat processed foods, when you eat a lot of sugars and a lot of fats. And for those who understand nutrition, you know that processed food is not good for you. Excessive amounts of sugars and fats is also not good for you. And it actually brings in a risk factor of diabetes. The other thing is, the other risk factor is lack of exercise. And exercise is critical. And we are told you only need a minimum of 30 minutes exercise for a minimum of 3 days a week. So it is something that is manageable. Again, if you don't exercise, you risk heading towards diabetes. And then people who are above the age of 45 need to take a lot of care because, again, age brings in another risk factor. Now, having talked about the risk factor, I want us to look at the symptoms. How do you know that somebody either has diabetes or is heading towards diabetes? Now, symptoms of type 2 diabetes progress over a long period of time. So it is not something that just starts today and you're able to tell. So it develops over a long period of time, such that some people have had diabetes for years and they don't even know it. We have encountered friends and close relatives who have discovered they have diabetes when it is very late. So please remember that diabetes is one of those diseases that takes time to come out. Now, what are some of the things you look out for? Number one, extreme thirst. When you have somebody who continuously complains of extreme thirst, then they need to watch. They need to check their blood sugar. Number two, consistent fatigue. People who get tired all the time, get tired from doing things that are very normal. Now, those are symptoms of diabetes. We also have a consistent need to urinate. There are people who will not sit in a meeting continuously without standing several times. Now, somebody who has to consistently go and urinate needs to also check themselves. Loss of weight is another symptom. There could be loss of weight that is deliberate, where you are in a program that you are working on reducing your weight. But if your weight just suddenly starts going down, you need to check on that. Then people with problems with eyesight, if you start getting problems with your eyesight, that could be a symptom of diabetes. Again, if you have this, you need to have yourself checked. Slow healing of wounds. You know that as we talk about the products and the other things, you'll realize that people with diabetes, most of the time have a challenge with healing of wounds. Their wounds will not heal easily. Then frequent infections is another symptom. People who are always getting infections, again, they need to have their blood sugar checked, because this could be a symptom of diabetes. Then you have a symptom that is called, you have areas of dark velvety skin, especially in the folds and creases in the body. So if you start seeing somebody with areas of dark velvety skin, especially where there are folds, then again, this needs to be checked. Another symptom is a tingling, numbness, or pain in hands and feet. You know, there are people who consistently complain of this tingling, numbness, or pain in the feet, especially at the end. Again, if somebody tells you that they consistently have that, you need to get them checked. They need to be checked, because that could be a symptom of diabetes. Now, how do you, what are some of the complications? And probably before I look at the complications, we can briefly look at management, but then we will bring in the products at the end. Unlike type 1, patients with type 2, most of the time do not need to be on insulin unless the oral medication is inadequate. So a lot of times people with type 2 will get oral medication, and occasionally they may need insulin. Now, a healthy lifestyle helps us in managing diabetes. And what is a healthy lifestyle? This is a lifestyle that one consumes balanced, healthy diet with plenty of fruits, plenty of vegetables, and whole grains. Again, regular exercises are very critical in the management of diabetes. And then you need to stimulate the pancreas to be able to produce enough insulin. And as we look at the Neolife solution, you'll see that there are certain nutrients that when they combine, they actually help in the production of the hormone called insulin that helps in the management of diabetes. Again, you need to manage your blood pressure because that then again affects us. And then you need to lower your cholesterol. Those are some of the critical things that somebody who has diabetes needs to work on. Now, what are the complications of diabetes? Diabetes is critical. It's not an easy disease. It's a chronic disease. And there are certain complications that can come with diabetes. And a lot of times these complications are the ones that actually really put people down. The first one is it increases the chances of heart attack. Now that's a complication of diabetes. It also increases the risk of stroke. Diabetes also increases the chances of or the prevalence of high blood pressure. And you'll see a lot of times when you talk to people who have diabetes, you'll hear they also have these complications. Diabetes also affects the eyes and actually brings in eye diseases. And a lot of times people with diabetes have, challenges with eyesight and have to go through operations. Diabetes also damages the nerves, especially in the limbs. And it also inhibits the full circulation of blood to the tips of the limbs. And I'm sure you have heard of people who have had their limbs cut off when they have diabetes. And that it is normally because of the damage to the nerves and the inhibition of blood circulating to the tips of the limbs. Again, diabetes can bring complications with the kidney because it damages the kidney. And another one that is not talked about much, but is prevalent, a complication with diabetes is impotence in men or inability to get and maintain an erection. Now, you don't want your man to have diabetes because that, as you can see, is a huge challenge. Now, probably if there is time at the end, we will take a few questions. But I want to now bring in Margaret so that she can tie in what I have talked about with a Neolife solution, because you don't have to worry that you have people who are at risk of diabetes, because Neolife has the solution for you. So thank you very much. Let's give Margaret a chance to now link this to the Neolife products.
Yeah, I believe that was a very extensive session. And maybe if you've been wondering what diabetes is, I'm sure now you really truly do understand. And the good thing is that we at Neolife, we've got a solution, not only in just managing it, but also in preventing. For those of us who might be pre-diabetic, being pre-diabetic means just that you've got high sugar levels, but they are not yet high enough to give you type 2 diabetes. But it still means that you're in the pre-stage, and if you don't do anything about it, then you are likely to go and become a diabetic type 2. And like Charles said, type 2 is very much lifestyle related, and it usually gets you when you're already grown up. The type 1, they say, is inherited or juvenile, meaning you got it when you are young. But type 2 is what we are talking about because it is actually very, very manageable with a change in lifestyle, and then, of course, using good supplements and a good diet. Like we all know is that for you to be healthy, number one, you need to do exercise, which Charles talked about. Exercise is very key, not only for your own well-being emotionally and also mentally, but also for circulation in your blood. And then if for you to prevent diabetes, if you're pre-diabetic, and most of us are and we do not know, as we all know is that most of us do not go for any tests. And I remember many people when they hear that you need to go for a full checkup, which will cost you about 20 to 30,000, you're thinking, why should I go and spend 20 to 30,000 and I'm feeling nothing? We go by the name of feeling. I'm not feeling anything. And by the time you actually feel, it is very late and something has already happened. So it is important that you have your body checked every year. Go for the general test that checks everything in your system. So what we are saying is that it is no longer the work of doctors to take care of our health. Health is in our hands. Actually, it is in our hands, and so health is actually up to you. So it is very important for you to know the different things that you need taken care of. You need to go and have your blood sugar checked. You need to check your BMI, body mass index, at your height, what weight should you be? You need to check your cholesterol levels. For men, you need to do the PSA test that determines if you are going to get prostate cancer or not. Ladies who are in childbearing, you need to go for your pap smears. We're in the cancer-free month. Let's go and check our cancer, our cervical, breast cancer, and any other cancer that might be there. The amazing bit is that what is amazing is that though the tests are free, some people will actually not go. So I don't know how better it can get than free. I don't know what is cheaper than free. So I'm urging every lady on this call, if you have not gone for those tests, please make sure that this week does not go before you've done those tests, because they are key, because these things and situations are preventable provided you have them taken in time. So for pre-diabetic, we need to take a product called Botanical Balance. And Botanical is just a plant-based product. It is made actually from mostly spices. And what Botanical Balance does, it balances the sugar levels in your system. And usually it is taken twice, 4 tablets a day, twice before your most heavy meal. So most people's heavy meal is their lunch and their supper. So you need to be able to use that Botanical, and it will surely help you. Botanical is also a product we are recommending to anybody who is overweight. Like Charles said, if you're overweight, in fact, if you've got any health challenge and you're overweight, you'll know you're overweight either by checking your BMI or a ratio of waist. There's a ratio of waist to hip that tells you whether you are the right weight. So if you have got a weight challenge, no matter the challenge you have, a weight issue, be it that you've got diabetes, be it high blood pressure, be it arthritis, be it cancer, the first culprit is that weight. You must just get rid of that weight. And we've got a very good weight program that is easy to use. Actually, you eat 5 times a day and you lose weight. So it's an amazing program. So don't be scared that you'll be hungry at any given time. You'll actually be full the whole day. But what is amazing is that you lose weight. It is an excellent program. I went on it, I think 8 months ago, and I've actually lost, I've lost 16 kilos in 8 months. So I can say for sure it works. We use the products first before we come out here and tell you, do they or do they not work? So we are proof enough that the products actually do work. So Botanical Balance is one of the products that we recommend that are diabetic, or if you just want to keep your sugar levels well, it needs to be taken 2 times a day before your main heavy meals. The other products that we highly recommend for diabetic is fiber tablets. And usually fiber acts like a sponge in the body. It again, of course, controls the sugar levels in the sense that if it is too much, the fiber will soak it in and get it out of your system. If it is little, fiber will then balance it out. And that is why we recommend that you need to have enough fiber or roughage in your meals. Roughage is found in a lot of fruits especially. We say that there are fruits that you should not peel off the top layer, things like apples, pears, because those top layers actually have got roughage, which gives you the fiber. But what is good about our fiber is got what we call soluble and insoluble fiber, the 2 types of fiber. And that fiber not only controls the sugar levels in the body, it also helps to clean the colon, which is the large intestine. And so it ensures that you are not going to get colon cancer. The other thing that fiber does, it regulates how much you're going to eat, because we tend to eat until we feel we are full. So our fiber is so effective that when you take 2 tablets in half a glass of water, you're going to realize the first half of the glass just gets full with our fiber in about half an hour. It swells to 50 times its normal size. So it occupies a portion of your stomach. So there's only so much room left for you to eat. So you get fuller with smaller portions. So that is what fiber does. So it regulates the sugar, cleans the colon, and controls how much you can really eat. The other product that is very crucial is zinc, chelated zinc. And zinc does amazing things when it works with other products. But the very first thing that zinc helps with is wounds. People who are diabetic have internal wounds they do not even know. And so sometimes they're in a lot of pain and one cannot tell where the pain is coming from. So zinc helps with healing of wounds. It actually speeds the healing of wounds. And it is so effective because those wounds need to heal, and especially if they're on the outside, because if they're exposed, then infection comes in. So zinc helps in healing of wounds. And of course, for the men, it helps with your prostate gland. And not only that, zinc also helps with the immunity boost. So zinc is a key product when it comes to diabetes. In the presence of zinc, when we combine zinc and another product that we call omega-3 salmon oil plus, I know you can get the salmon fish. It is available like in Kenya from the retail market, our retail market in town. but it costs about 1,800 a kilo. And we say that fish, you need at least a minimum of 2 to 3 servings in a week. So you can imagine getting that quantity for the family that you have. So Neolife, being the company that it is, it has got the salmon oil put in a capsule, and our omega-3 salmon oil plus, that plus has got a meaning. Most omegas have got what we call 2 molecules. Usually it has DHA and EPH. Those are just the very basic of the omega that you would get, but ours has got all the 8 together. And for omega to be effective, all the 8 need to be there. And why salmon fish compared to cod liver oil? Because people say, but here we have cod liver oil. Cod liver is from fish in the warm areas. And a study that was done showed that people who live in the cold waters, who eat the fish in the cold waters, don't get anything that have to do with heart challenges. They don't get heart attacks, they don't get stroke, they don't get pressure, because that fish has got a lot of value. So in a diabetic person, the omega-3 will help, of course, to control pressure. It will help to regulate their cholesterol levels. And also, most important, it will help to protect their eyes. Remember, Charles talked about the eye getting affected because of this too much sugar in the body. So omega-3 will again go and start helping to protect the eyes. The other thing that omega-3 does, it's got something to help with your concentration, alertness, and also helps in the reproductive organs. And the other thing is that it will also help with the joints. So your concentration, alertness, your memory will be perfect. Now, when you combine zinc, omega-3, and this other product that I want to mention called the Neolife Shake or the protein drink, diabetic people need protein in very good balanced ratios. And our Neolife Shake is done very well in a ratio of 2 to 1. 2 protein to 1 carbohydrate. They need foods that we say that have got what we call low glycemic. There's something called low glycemic. Glycemic, the GLY just means sugar, and semic means blood. So it's how sugar behaves in the blood. So our Neolife Shake has got something we call, it has got low glycemic. In other words, it releases sugar to the bloodstream slowly, and that's what you need. Foods that release sugar to the bloodstream fast are some of the challenges that make the insulin inefficient because there's too much sugar to deal with at any given time. So our Neolife Shake regulates the sugar, how fast sugar gets released into the blood. So that's why you see the name GR2 or glycemic response. Is just how sugar behaves in the blood. And so our Neolife Shake is able to control how much sugar gets into the blood at any given time. And it being a complete protein in the sense that it's got amino acids. Amino acids are what help your body to form enzymes. Enzymes help to break down food. So if you do not have a product that is protein-based, that doesn't have the right ratio, then your body cannot produce enzymes that break down food. And that's also where some of the allergies come from, is that the protein you're taking is not producing the right enzymes, so the food cannot be broken down. And so in effect, it becomes a challenge. So you need the protein to be the right one with the right amino acids. Now, when zinc, omega-3, and when zinc, omega-3, and the amino acids mix, they give your body another element we call GTF. GTF stands for glucose tolerance factor, that your body, your blood can tolerate the glucose, and so it will not harm the cells. So it's called GTF, glucose tolerance factor. In other words, when omega-3, zinc, and amino acids mix, they start helping your body produce the right insulin, the right quantities that convert that sugar and put it in the cell for either energy use or for storage. Because the problem we get with too much sugar is that insulin is not able to put it back into the cells for storage or for use as energy. So GTF, glucose tolerance factor. So when those 3 products mix, and you can see why you need the zinc, the omega-3, and the amino acids, where they play a role to start helping your body produce insulin on its own. And if you're diabetic and you're already taking insulin, either tablet or injection, please do not stop. You can combine these products with whatever you are taking, but with time, the doctor will realize that your body is actually responding and it can produce insulin on its own. The other very important product for diabetic is vitamin E. And when you become diabetic, that your blood tends to get a little bit heavy. And so it needs what we call a blood thinner. A blood thinner is something to help it circulate into every part of your body. And so people who are diabetic, the blood does not get to the limbs. And it's because of the blood not getting to the limbs. And if they have wounds, the wounds start infecting one cell after another. And with time, you hear that they have to amputate the leg. If they finish with the 2 legs, they start amputating the hands. And so if you don't want that to happen, it's because blood is not getting to the limbs or to the cells in the limbs. And remember, all the food in the body is taken to the cells by circulation, by the blood. So if blood is not getting to certain cells, they are going to start rotting. And so they are going to affect the other cells. So to stop that progression, then they have to get rid of the limbs that are affected. So vitamin E ensures that blood will get to the smallest capillary in your body. So it ensures that there's a total blood flow from head to toe to whichever part that needs blood. And also it being a blood thinner, it means that you are unlikely to get stroke, because stroke is a clot that formed that stopped in your heart. That's what we call a clot. It blocked blood flow to the heart, so that's what we call a stroke. A heart attack. When the blood clot stops in the heart, that's a heart attack. When it stops in the brain, that's when we say it is a stroke. So heart attack and stroke are related. It's just a clot. It depends on where it stops. So vitamin E ensures that the blood is thin enough and can get to each and every portion of your body. And so you are not going to get anything amputated. And so the cells will be fed. The thing to note about vitamin E is that if somebody is on another blood thinner, then they can only use 1 vitamin E, because you should not thin your blood too much. Otherwise, if you get a cut, then clotting will be an issue. So you need to take vitamin E in moderation if you're already on another blood thinner. The other thing is that you need at least up to what we call 800 IU, international units of vitamin E. But because of how vitamin E behaves in the body, you cannot take all the 4 tablets together. Ours has got 200 international units. So how you take vitamin E, week 1, you only take 1 tablet. Week 2, you now increase to 2 tablets. Week 3, increase to 3, and week 4 to 4. So you cannot take all the 4 from the beginning. Otherwise, you're going to get palpitations and it will be a little bit uncomfortable. So it is increased with time. You can't take it all of it at a go. And so that is what you can actually take for diabetes. And then, of course, you know that you have to take in a multivitamin, and you can use Formula 4 Plus. Formula 4 Plus has got whole grains, and whole grains help in the taking in of nutrients into your cells. The white food we eat actually blocks the cells, and no nutrients can go into the cell. So Formula 4 Plus has got TNN that opens cells and makes the cell wall soft and permeable, and allows whatever we take into the body right into the cell, cellular nutrition. And so whether you are on medication or not, even the food you are eating, if you're not having any whole grains, then that food is not being utilized in your body. I don't know if you have seen people who seem to eat and the weight never goes anywhere. They're just as thin as anything, but they eat throughout. It probably is that their cells are locked, and so the food is not being very well utilized. So you need the TNN, and then the multivitamin, the multi that is in Formula 4 Plus. It's a multivitamin that's got all the minerals and vitamins that your body needs for proper functioning. So Formula 4 Plus or Formula 4, but Formula 4 Plus especially because it also has additional zinc. The final product that if you really want to take care of it is Betagard. Betagard has got a combination of quite a number of vitamins together. Betagard has got a bit of zinc. It's also got a bit of vitamin B vitamins, but most of all, it's got something called chromium. People who are diabetic get a burning sensation in their body. They just feel they're burning, but they don't know what is burning them. So chromium regulates that burning. It's a corrosiveness that is taking inside the body, but the chromium helps that corrosiveness not to happen. And so they are able to manage that burning. And then it also helps with carbohydrate metabolism, the chromium. That is why it is needed. And then, of course, finally, you need to add the B vitamins. Charles talked about fatigue, and it's fatigue because your body is not utilizing nutrients properly. Diabetic people get so tired, like by 3 o'clock, they are totally exhausted. So they need B vitamins to quickly convert their carbohydrate to metabolize the carbohydrate and convert it quickly into energy. So those are the very products that are needed. And if you find a person with a challenge, the very basic they can use is fiber tablets, botanical balance, and they at least need the zinc, omega, and vitamin E. That is the very basic, because you need to address the real challenge. I think we have covered what needs to be covered for diabetes. And I think I want to leave a few minutes just in case there's a question or two or a clarification, and maybe what we have said that was not clear or you want something clarified. I think I'll take it back to Isaac and Purity, just in case there's a question that we can address before we finish. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Charles and Margaret. That was wonderful, wonderful. You have really taken this program so well, right from the definition, what causes diabetes, how to manage complications, and finally the near life solution. I'm sure everybody on the call has been able to follow, and you have surely understood. We can be able to help ourselves, and even we can be able to help somebody who could be having a challenge this moment. So in case you have a question, we are checking at the chat box. You can just put down your question for the few minutes that are remaining. We don't have so much time. I'm very sorry, some people I am made to understand were not able to get in on time. We had a challenge with the logging in, but we are sorry for that. So we had one of our directors, upcoming team member, Josephine Marango, all the way from the USA. And she would like to give her testimony because she was actually suffering from diabetes, and now she's been using the products for the time she's been in the business, and she has seen a great change in her health. So I want to give Josephine this moment so that she can give us her testimony as we check whether we have a question on the box. So Josephine, I hope you can hear us. Welcome.
Purity, can I add in something just before Josephine comes in?
Okay.
There's for us, we call it botanical balance, but in the US, it's called glucose control or glucose balance. So that needs to be noted. It is the same product. It is just the names that are different in different markets. So it is the same product. I thought I should make that clarification. And also to add that you can also add aloe vera plus for the kidney cleaning. Remember we said kidneys get a problem, and actually the aloe vera and Betagard help the kidney to function. Thank you. I think I needed to add that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Josephine.
Thank you, Purity. I'm so excited to be here today to share my testimony. My name is Josephine Marango, as Purity has said, and I joined this opportunity of New Life from 5 months ago. This is my 6th month. I'm a mother and I'm a grandma. And how I joined, I was introduced to my sister, who actually shared supplements with me because she knew of my health challenges, and one of them was diabetes and asthma. And to me, because of having frequent asthma attacks, I used to be in a lot of steroids, and that's how I developed steroid-induced diabetes. And most of the products which our Linda has talked about, that is what I'm taking. And actually, when I joined, I started taking those supplements. My diabetes really got controlled to an extent that I started even having some episodes of hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar, which never happened before. I used to have this skyrocketing high blood sugars where I could not even sleep at night. And, for those who suffer diabetes, they know the consequences also, like you don't sleep, you go to the bathroom frequently, which does not happen to me now. And I'm really, really happy to know that when I started taking the Pro Vitality 3NN and also the glucose, because Botanica is glucose, just like she said, and also vitamin B, all those vitamin B, even vitamin D, I've been taking all those because one of the things which happens when you are diabetic, you tend to lose a lot of calcium in your body and also vitamin D. So for me, I had prescription for those, but I don't take those anymore. I started taking the Neolife, even the vegan vitamin D and the calcium. And those things have helped me a lot. And also I take Neolife shake. So what I am here to say today is my health has really been, my health has really changed. And I thank our one team, Linda Pitting Grace, and also Sapphire Eunice they did not give up on me, because at first when I was introduced about, I did not really take it possibly. And that's why my sister Naomi, she introduced me to the supplements. And by taking those supplements, I felt better. And when she introduced me to Pitting Grace, I started asking a lot of questions. When do you take for this? And actually, when I joined after 2 weeks, I started feeling better. All those pains went away. My sugars went down. I stopped taking nebulizer, which I've never taken since May, actually. And I don't carry Ineras anymore. Like I used to have Inera in my pocket. So to me, Neolife has really changed my life. And when I started feeling better, I started also doing the dream basics of using the product, sharing the products, just like my sister and my sponsor, Eunice Marango, did. I shared with one of my directors here, Rachel, who was also having a lot of challenges. She also did the same, shared with Emma and her sister in UK, Elizabeth. And I'm so grateful because when I joined basically for health. I remember telling Grace, I am not interested with the business. Then for us, business came by default. It just happened. And now we have this great team, and my prayer and my happiness is to see many people's lives have been changed through the Neolife products because they work. The products of Neolife work because here, especially in the market where we are in US, there are a lot of supplements from different companies. And honestly, I had tried most of the supplements here and nothing worked. My Neolife supplements have worked. And my message today is to tell people that reach as many people you can to change your lives, because we have a lot of people who are sick out there. And I know once we reach them, as I'm doing with my team, because our mission is to change people's lives to be healthy and happy. Because just like the mission of Neolife, when you are not healthy, you are not happy and you will not have any wealth, because the greatest wealth is your health. And I know for me, it has worked. And I know we are on a mission to change the world by reaching our friends, our family members, and everybody we come across who has health challenges, because these products work and they can change people's life. And at the same time, people also start putting money in their pocket, which is a great thing, because people who are broke are never happy. But when you have money in your pocket, it then gives you power even to be happy, because you can be able to buy yourself anything you want and you can have a dream. And my message today is for our guests and our readers and our distributors here. Let's continue sharing the opportunity. Let's continue empowering many people. And I know together we will make our world a different place. And I thank all my team members who are here, because I'm where I am today because of them. Let us join hands together and work together as a team. And I know together we will go far. And I thank you, Pitting Grace, for supporting our team, for mentoring us and guiding us. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our upcoming Sapphire Director, Margaret. Josephine Marango. Wow, that's a wonderful testimony. In only 6 months, you've been able to change your health status. In fact, you're looking so nice. From this side, I can see you.
Thank you, thank you.
Surely your health has really improved. That is great. And we really want to congratulate you. By the way, Josephine will be our Blood News Software Director end of this month. And that is wonderful. You are doing a wonderful business in the US and even here in Kenya. And we are truly proud of you. So her testimony is a sure show that our products are great. They work. So we encourage everybody on the call, make use of the products, use them, and share with everyone you come across who have any challenge of health or even diabetes, the topic we are discussing today. So I don't think I have many questions on the screen. I can see the few that were there have been explained in the course of, as our leaders were explaining to us, they've been able to explain the few, one or two that I've seen here. And what I'm seeing on the chat is people are very excited, Margaret and Charles. A wonderful comment that they have learned a lot and they are very grateful. Some people are saying they even need your number. You can just put them on the chat because I believe you are always there and you are always ready to help everyone. And thank you so much, Margaret and Charles. You've become like a part of this team and we are very happy for you. Thank you for a great presentation you have done for us. And may the Lord bless you so much. In fact, as we always say, you look like you are one of the members of the SAB. And when we see you here, we know that we are not far from these people. So thank you so much. I also want to thank Paul. Paul, thank you so much for always being part of this team, always hosting us every Tuesday. We are very, very grateful. And I want to thank everybody else on the call who's been with us listening to the presentation. May the Lord bless you so much. Let's go out there and continue helping many people and actually changing the world and making the world a healthier and a happier place to be. So from me, I want to say thank you and I want to wish you a very blessed night. Yes, thank you so much. I want to end the session. So God bless you and I say bye and have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.